It's another glorious episode of The View from the Ninian, where we get together and talk about everything that's wrong with our football club and try and sprinkle in some positivity along the way. Ben Price, Tom Phillips, joining me as always. Tom Phillips, good morning.
Good morning. Good evening to you.
Ben Price, good evening.
Good evening, my friend.
Any news from the other side of the pond, Tom? It is the next day where you are. Anything to update us on?
No, Cardiff still lost over here as well. Nothing new. It's all the same. So yeah, nothing from me.
Ben, any news your side?
It's raining outside. It's raining inside. It's all a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. We've got Hull. We've got to talk about Hull, but there's no point labouring the point because it's the same old shit every week. But we'll start with Hull. It's the place to start because we lost 4-1 in Omar Reza's first game as interim manager to become full-time manager. That's the pathway it goes. Ben, Hull equals hell.
Yeah, it's not a nice place as a city. Despite, was it European Capital of Culture in 2018?
Beat Swansea to that.
Yeah, which sort of says everything about both places. But yeah, horrible place, horrible results, and I don't think we've had a decent result up there since what? Fraser Campbell scored that penalty on when we won the league and they got promoted.
I'm afraid, Ben, you're skipping out a big part of our history there. What happened in 2018?
Yeah, that's my favourite day ever.
Yeah. Sorry, there is the Sean Morrison wonder goal in there.
Yeah. I was like, what happened? There was 10 years you just skipped out there.
It doesn't even feel like it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's the same club. That was a much happier time.
Yeah, so that was a good time. But I think since then, you're right. I mean, Hull City posted a photo on their Twitter page of like the last eight games or something. We haven't beaten them in that time. I don't know if it was the last 8 chronologically or just 8 most recent ones, but we don't seem to win there, do we?
Do you know what's really annoying me about it now as well? Is both teams choose to wear alternative colours. It seems to be the fixture where it's the one fixture of the season we'll wear that third kit for. And for some reason, Hull decide just to wear their black kit every year against us as well.
I did notice that. Was there any reason for them wearing their
We did it last year as well. We did it last year. It's really weird. And that annoys me as much as the result.
Go on, Tom.
It was their anniversary, but I don't think it was anything to do with that, right? It was their 120-year anniversary.
That probably might be
it for Hull. Yeah.
For
I
us,
like our third kit.
I quite like our third kit. It looks nice when it's on. Go on, Tom. Talk about the third kit.
It's just, it wouldn't look nice on me, but on fit men who run around a lot, I think it looks quite nice. I'm not going to buy it, but I'll go, oh, that's prettier than I thought when I watch it. That's one of the only positives I've got from that game. So you're welcome.
Well, the other positive, Tom, is we scored a goal. It was quite a good one. Anwar El Ghazi played a lovely round the corner pass. I don't know how he did it, but the ball seemed to pick up pace as it bounced off the turf. It was quite incredible. And Callum Robinson had a lovely finish. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, like at that moment, you're thinking, that's what we've been waiting for. That's the link up you wanted. We look good going forwards because you look at the starting lineup and it did look attacking and it did look like we might have some defensive holes. That may have happened after the first goal. We'll get on to that. But I thought it was a lovely finish from Callum Robinson. Like he struck it with a lot of pace. It flew past the keeper. And we haven't seen a huge amount from him like doing stuff like that for like a year and a half, really. So I think even obviously the result is awful. If we take anything from that game, the fact that, that was a clinical finish and it was a great little assist from El Ghazi. We started that game like fairly all right. So at least we looked all right going forward for once, because obviously this year our goal scoring has been our defense has been absolutely awful, but also our goal scoring hasn't been there either. So at least we took the lead for the first time this season. We've scored a goal away from home. Let's sort the rest out as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the historic lows and highs of our defensive conceding and goal difference shortly, but. Ben, if you look at the stats, again, it doesn't tell the whole story, but we actually topped an XG of 1.87, which I think is the highest so far this season. We outpassed them. If you look at the stats, we 16 shots, 5 shots on target. It did feel like underneath it all, there is a step in the right direction there, isn't there?
Sort of.
Ben, I'm clutching at straws.
Clutch at those straws that you want. I still think it says a lot more about the chances Hull gifted us more than us creating much.
Mm-hmm.
I think a better team would have absolutely battered Hull, to be honest. They gave away the ball. They were so loose in possession for a lot of it. I think it was us being poor, not them being good, and still 4-1 didn't flatter them. I think you look at Alnwick sort of made some
He made
cracking
a couple
saves.
of really good saves.
It's yeah, I'd love to come here and say, look, there's positives. We can see what there's like improvements and stuff, but other than scoring first, that is the only positive I can take from it. I can't even take positives for the kicks. I still don't like it. Yeah, I can't really see the shoots of improvement. It's just more that Hull were really bad as well.
Hull were really bad, but scored 4 goals. One of them was a penalty. The other 3, I've watched them back a few times now, and they all seemingly meld into one big defensive error from Callum Chambers. He can't hold on to a man. He lets men run past him. He can't find a pass. Tom, anything to say about any of their goals?
Just doing things aren't going right for you. They really don't. It's just like little deflections, like
Oh, yeah, one of them
cross-come
is a
shot.
deflection. Yeah.
Yeah, like cross-come shot that flies through our players and ends up in the bottom corner. And at the penalty, Perry just barrels into him.
Yeah.
Don't really know what he's doing, but at that stage, it's all lost anyway. And it's we can't keep saying it's just unfortunate, but some of it does feel like, oh, fuck's sake, like, did that have to happen? But it's what happens when we invite pressure on ourselves, because they could have scored from a couple of chances, like Ben said, and we pulled off a couple of decent saves as well. And we deserved to lose that game, even though we did look all right in spells. Because there's games this year where we've looked completely out of it from start to finish. So at least that's the little positive we can take from it. Like, we did get ourselves in the game at the beginning. We showed flashes of attacking intent. But it's just, we've brought in defenders and what we thought were quality defenders, and we're just not seeing it at the moment. I know we're kind of being overrun in midfield at times as well, but we look so loose at the back. It's atrocious, really. It's the worst defending I've seen at Cardiff, possibly ever. Because like we used to be fairly solid even when we weren't attacking, like looking good up top. But we've just lost any kind of rigidity we had at the back. It's been woeful this season.
It's also worrying because the players that we brought in are good defenders in theory. We've still got Perry Ng, who's been our player of the year for 2 years in a row. Callum Chambers has played at the highest level, Champions League. He's played in the Premier League. He's won trophies. Will Fish is a very promising centre half. And obviously Jamalu Collins, Jamalu Collins is very up and down, but he's a decent footballer. But you said, under people like when we've had defenders like Gabor Chapesh in there, at least they knew how to do the basics, head the ball away, clear the ball away. Last year, Gutas was exceptional at last-ditch defending and just booting the ball away. It seems we've lost some of that now because we're trying to defend on the front foot or trying to be players that are trying to control the situation when I don't think Callum Chambers is a very good defender in reality, is what we're seeing. We're seeing someone who's good when the team has a lot of the ball and can play on the front foot. But when he's under pressure, he crumbles. Ben, what's going on with Perry Ng? What's wrong with him?
It looks like he's disinterested. Looks like he's been denied a move. Thought he'd get a bigger move elsewhere. Hasn't got it, and just sort of can't be asked anymore. He's just decided to play up a bit. It's not a good look for him, and it's not a good look for us, is it? No. He looks frustrated, disinterested, and yeah, it is a lot of that, I think. And you put that alongside a 21-year-old centre back that played at Hibs. Other than that's played 2 games for Stockport County, 1 for Man United. A centre back that's played very little football over the last 5 years for Aston Villa, and a left back that's coming back from injury. You're going to have a bad time. But yeah, the downfall of Perry Ng is quite astonishing. Like, he didn't even look that arse when he gave away the penalty. He just sort of shrugged his shoulders and went, "Yeah, of course it is." It's a worry, isn't it?
It's just very strange, isn't it? There's a strange atmosphere around the place. We've got decent enough players, we've got a decent enough squad, but Tom, it just doesn't look like they really care.
Yeah, it does seem to be lacking a bit of camaraderie and stuff. And I think we know, like, people like NG, very close to Wintle, who's left in a bit of a cloud, yeah, unfortunate circumstances. And I think at the end of the day, like, they're the same as the rest of us. If you're not happy at work, you lose your mates at work. It's harder to turn up. Yeah. I think like the Perry NG one at the end, I think you could probably give him a benefit of doubt a little bit because it's in the 90s, like minute wise. But he looks disinterested, like Benson, for the rest of the game as well. And the thing is, he's not going to get his big move that he wants if he carries on playing like that, because he's coming unstuck against some very average Championship teams so far. I know we've had a difficult start to the season. I think our fixtures haven't been that kind, and we'll get on to who we've got coming up next, and it's maybe looking a little bit kinder for us. But it is a worry when you have got new signings coming in. It's meant to inject a bit of energy in your team, something new, something to get excited about, and there hasn't been anything to get excited about, which is the complete opposite of how we felt when those players came in.
Yeah.
Like when we said about Chambers, we were like, look, we finally added a bit of quality. We've played at the highest level, and I get why we signed him. Right? When we signed him in pre-season, we were trying to play a bit more football, control the games, the things that he is good at, but we're not doing that now. So we've signed players for a system. We're not using that system. And I still think a lot of these players will come good. Like El Ghazi is still a huge signing if we can get him fit, having a run games. You saw a flash of what he's capable of. But we just need to get out of this rut very, very quickly. Because the one thing that's in our favour at the moment is we're not cut adrift or anything like that. But we're only 4 points off the off the safety
already. That's what's
already. I know, but that can turn in 2 games, and the midweek is starting to start back up again now, and the games start coming thick and fast. You win 3 games on the bounce, and you're back in it. But the problem is we don't look like we're going to win 3 games. It's just we need to inject a bit of energy there, because that is the issue: is the energy, the atmosphere, like you touched on. It's not even it's not the football that worries me at the moment. It's the buzz, the lack of buzz that we've got around it. There's nothing to get excited about, and they don't seem excited, so the fans aren't excited either. So it puts a huge lot of pressure on whoever comes in next, because we're looking at an uphill battle.
But we talk about apathy a lot.
Go on, Ben.
We talk about apathy a lot from the fans, but I think it's even more of a problem if the players are apathetic, and that's exactly how they look right now. I think there's a lot of players come in and sort of going, "What the hell have I got myself into with this club? Why do Cardiff keep doing a Cardiff?" And that's where it's gonna be a problem. We've all worked. I have anyway worked under companies with problems with management, and it affects your performance no matter what. When you don't know what's going on above, it causes massive issues. They're only human. We like to say it's this, it's that, but again, it comes back to what we spoke about for the last few weeks of shit leadership from the top is filtering down through the club. It all comes back down to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you talk about the fans being apathetic and the players being apathetic, and that just creates it feeds off each other, doesn't it? If you go to a football match and the players don't give you anything on the pitch, then why should you get up for it as a fan? 500 people went to Hull yesterday, which is, last year we probably would have taken over 1,000. So it's already showing potentially on the away end. I know Hull is a long way away, especially from Cardiff. It's a long way away, but last year we would have sold double that. At the start of the season, we would have sold double that, but it's already set in that we're 7 games into the season. It's like, I don't even know if Bristol next Sunday sold out, to be honest. I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a look, but I don't think it's sold out, which it'll be the first time in years it hasn't sold out. If that's the case. So I don't know what's going to change it. Like the fans have to vote with their feet, but then there's a core of the fans that probably won't vote with their feet because they still want to go to the football. But that's a conversation we can have a bit later on. Anything else to say on the whole game, Ben?
Rubbish. Just
good.
Rubbish.
Tom, could you sum up the whole game in a noise?
I don't know. That was horrible. Sorry. I quite like Hull as a place, by the way. I'm not Ben slagging off cities. I quite like Hull as a place.
If anyone from Hull is listening, if anyone from Hull is listening, Ben, is there a city you haven't really slagged off?
There's some nice cities.
Coventry always gets you in the fire around. You don't really like Bristol.
Coventry's a well-renowned Hull. Bristol's nice, but I don't like the people. I'm going
top three other cities than Cardiff in the UK.
I like York. York's lovely.
Yeah.
Edinburgh. Edinburgh's class. Yeah. And Glasgow's fun as well. I'll go with those.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Let's go over to Twitter. See what the chattering classes have to say for themselves. James C. Roberts, 94. I bought a sofa instead of watching or listening to the game. Did you know you can get sofas which have wine coolers and charging slots? It's quite a fun afternoon, if you ask me. Better than the relegation Bluebirds. I haven't bought a sofa in years because the house we bought 3 years ago had sofas that came with it. So they're from Marks and Spencer's. Now, I didn't know Marks and Spencer's did sofas. But apparently they do.
How far away from the Percy Pigs are they?
Well, I didn't buy them, Ben, so I don't know where they were kept in store. They were just in the house when I got here. I'd like to go and look at sofas. What would you rather have, though, Ben, in your sofa? A cooler or a charging slot?
I think a cooler, because the chargers you can put behind the sofa, like I've got now.
Okay.
So I'd go with a cooler.
Charging slot. I don't need any encouraging to have any bottles right next to me at all times.
Draft.
Yeah, but it's a new definition of armchair fan there, really, wasn't it?
Well, not quite yet. He hasn't got a sofa.
True.
He's building up to be an armchair fan.
Is he an armchair fan? Buying a sofa though?
Is he a sofa
fan?
Maybe he's buying a set, isn't he?
Oh, maybe. We need more information. I did ask him for more information, but I don't know if he replied.
Let me just see. Called a Soho sofa with a mint colour. I don't really know what a mint colour is, but that's it. 4-seater with a single for balance. Bought the insurance and cleaning kit because I'm an idiot who would break a new sofa or spill a kebab over it, probably the barbecue sauce. Pillows were mid-soft / firm.
That was more interesting than the game. Yeah.
I'm having a look at mint colour sofas now. Soho 3-seater sofa from Dusk, I'm guessing.
Do you want to flash it up on your screen?
With price.
We can do that now, can't we? Yeah.
If you've got a photo of the sofa, don't show the price, but show the sofa.
How am I supposed to do that? It's going to show the price, isn't it? If it is on offer,
let's move on. Let's move on.
It's on offer, and it's a lovely sofa. Good choice, but he's been upsold.
Scott Salter, friend of the pod, Tom, if you could bring back any former manager, who would it be and why?
Oh,
Ben,
it's annoying. My head started going, Malky Mackay. Malky Mackay's like, it can't be him. It can't be him.
Davy Jones?
I would be Dave Jones. It was just fun. Even though he's a miserable bastard. It's just the best time as a Cardiff fan.
But it was fun because of that, wasn't it? Have a shit journey home, banning journalists.
Yeah, it's true.
It was hilarious. Ben?
Yeah, it was entertaining for the right reasons.
I'd 100% go Dave Jones or Russell Slade just for the banter.
I do like Russell Slade, though, as a man. That was my other answer, so I can't say that.
Lovely cap. Adam James didn't watch the game, don't care anymore. So what's everyone's favourite own goal? I'm fond of Chris Brass smashing the ball into his own face, into the back of his own net. I like that Sunderland lad who volleys it from the edge of the box off the side of his foot into the top corner. I think his name was Virigi. He was like an Argentinian. I once scored a great own goal. I'll tell you about this now. A corner came in, landed on the penalty spot. I volleyed it first time off the post. And then blamed our keeper for not coming to collect it. So, sorry, Carl, if you're listening. Ben, favourite own goal?
I'm still a big fan of Plymouth from last season. Was it Boxing Day?
Oh, yeah, that was a beauty.
Inexplicably just slotted it past his own goalkeeper, which I thought was lovely.
Yeah, it was really cushioned. He hit it the perfect weight, so it had too much on it, so the keeper couldn't get it.
Strikers couldn't finish it that good. It was just a lovely composed finish.
Tom?
Is it Lee Dixon scored one from nearly the halfway line when he just put it straight over? It would have been Seaman's head, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It was years ago. It was on my one of those Danny Baker's own goals and gaffs videos that I watched on repeat as a kid.
So you're saying Dixon lobbed Seaman?
Yeah, yeah.
One of my favourite own goals from Cardiff was when I think we were at a game in the early 2000s, and my dad hated Jason Bowen because he thought he was lazy. But then he tracked back one day, tracked it all the way back, got the ball, and my dad was like, "Brilliant, Jace, well done, mate." And he proceeded to slot it straight past his own goalkeeper with a back pass. Dad was like, "Oh, fucking hell." It was good. Lee Johnson, not that one, Ben. Feeling blessed, work has kept me from going to any games this season. John T.M. Williams, haven't been to any away games since circa 1972, lost 4-1 to Hereford. Going away to the Wurzels next Sunday. Grandson wanted to do it as an away game birthday present. Not looking forward to it. That's the spirit. Oliver Rees, first competitive game I've missed in 2 years due to a stag do in Prague. Felt not weird, not being angry, upset, anything in between. Should I miss more games? No, you shouldn't, Oliver. You're a nice lad. Had a nice chat with you at Sheffield, I think it was. You should keep going to games. Mogsy89, forward line looking improved during the first 25 minutes or so. Nothing they can do when our midfield gets glided through like butter and a poor defence. Chambers and JC were awful. Work with a mate who's a Hull fan, and even he felt sorry for us. Long old season ahead, boys. Rodri, this one's for you, Ben. Thoughts on Mick McCarthy heading into the I'm a Celebrity jungle? And would you guys ever do it? Ben, what do you think about Mick going in the jungle?
I'm all for this. I think it's going to be proper entertainment. I haven't watched I'm a Celebrity in years. Like, well before COVID sort of thing. It's sort of novelty wore off years ago, but McCarthy going in there, I think I would watch. And I'll be honest, I'll vote for him every single time to do bush tucker trials.
Tom, would you like to go into the jungle? Kind of there already in Australia.
Yes, true. Just pop around the corner for me, easy commute. I haven't got my gag reflex for like horrible food.
Witchetty grubs.
Yeah, not for me at all, really. And I just don't trust myself to be on camera for that long and not say something that would really get me in trouble. Just to try and be liked by people in the camp, forgetting there's like millions of people watching me as well. What's
the kind of thing you would say though? Obviously,
I don't know. I just say something. I don't know. I just really don't trust myself not to run my mouth. It's not for me.
If you're worried about that, imagine how I feel.
Yeah. Strange. Bush Talasine, as a neutral, I can see where the problem is. An absentee owner with buyer's remorse. Yes, Tanner's put money into the club, but he was looking for rewards, monetary and prestige. The Cardiff supporters deserve better, but higher league football is too commercialised. Here. Jimmy, spelled with 3 M's. Your guys' view on 2 things: the fitness of the team and Callum Chambers. Already discussed Callum Chambers. Ben, do you think this team's unfit?
They don't look particularly fit, do they? It's not got the energy they had at the start of last season. That is again another worry.
The Prince of Wales. Not sure if it's Charles, but thank you if you are getting in contact with us. It's not Charles anymore, is it? It's William. We got lucky with a few results because of how solid our defence was. This season, the defence has gone to shit without investing properly in a decent striker. Away days at Bolton will be sound next season. Simon, is our league goal of the month competition too predictable? What's your favourite ice cream? I guess what is it? If it was a September goal of the month, is that the other goal didn't happen in this month, did it? It was in August, the Swansea goal. Yeah. So it is just Callum Robinson's goal. What's your favourite ice cream? I really like some Ben & Jerry's fish food. Tom?
I go between fish food or cookie dough, depending on what I'm feeling like. I overdid fish food at one point.
What's the Australian one that's got a funny name? Gay time?
Golden Gay time.
Golden Gay time. We've had the ice cream conversation fairly recently.
We have.
I tried to avoid Twister and Solero. Yeah.
Ben, favourite ice cream?
Oh, I do like a Ben & Jerry's fish food, but it's got to be on offer. I ain't paying full price for it.
No,
never pay full price for Ben & Jerry's. Or what's the one? The Haagen-Dazs, like the Oreo biscuit. If that's on offer as well, that's lovely.
Oh, that's a nice one. That is a nice.
We've had this conversation more than we've scored goals this season, which is quite worrying.
Exactly. Good laugh, innit? This. Alex OS, which League One ground are you most looking forward to visiting? It's a shame, really, because Fleetwood and Morecambe are no longer in there. I'm hoping that Barrow might get promoted. I really want to go somewhere terrible. If not, then I don't know. Look at the league now. Burton. Ben?
Shrewsbury. I wouldn't mind. Again, not a bad place.
They're in the relegation zone at the moment.
Yeah. But there's like a really nice barbecue place here that I went a while back. So I'd like to go back there.
Should have said Wrexham, really, but they're in the top 2. Tom?
They're going up, aren't they?
My sister used to live in Barrow, so if they went up, and I never went to visit her, I think it'd be a really kick to her confidence if I fly back from Melbourne to Barrow away.
And don't go and see her again.
Yeah. I thought Exeter, I reckon.
Yeah, Exeter's a nice little town, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our Barrow, they are 3rd Barrow in League 2. We could be, and they're also called the Bluebirds.
This is frustrating. We have this conversation every season as well, don't we? Just like, what's our favourite League One? Oh, God.
Are you trying to say that this is a repetitive podcast, Tom, and people...
there's only so much we can speak about, that it's largely us being shit for large periods, so it's bound to happen.
When was the last time we played Leyton Orient? That would be quite a nice one.
They were in the Championship not that long ago. Yeah, we have played them in
as well.
I think.
Have we? No, they've not been in the Championship as long as we've been in the Championship, are they?
I feel like they have, but I'm often making things up.
I mean, Crawley would be fun just to know where it is. Because
the last time between Brighton and London.
Oh, the last time we played Leyton Orient, I was wrong. It was the League Cup in 2007.
Yeah,
and then before that, it was the League Cup in 2003.
Debut, wasn't it?
Was it?
I'm sure that was it. I
We're
remember
going down a rabbit hole here.
We're live rabbit holing. This is great.
Yeah.
This is how much we've lost interest in the actual current club.
I'm about 2 steps away from Googling Asamoah Gyan. Terry Hansen, it was obviously a bad result, but apart from our defenders making really bad mistakes, do we think that it looked like the players enjoy playing differently, especially up front? Tom, there was a little bit of hope, wasn't there, in that first 25 minutes where obviously Callum Robertson scored and it looked like there was going to be some change, but it didn't last very long, did it?
No, I think, to be honest with you, though, I think it's easier to shore up a defence than to start scoring goals, is what I would say. So the fact that we have a little bit of energy up top and we've got players who've done it in the past, I think I am going to cling to that positivity. So, yeah, it's not the end of the world. And it's one of those ones, if you, like you said earlier on, if you put a couple of results together, we'll quickly forget about how bad it was in the opening few games of the season. So, yeah, there's definitely hope
there. Thoughts on new signings, youngsters coming through now that they're starting to settle? Ben, it was heartening to see a bench with Louis Giles, Thomas Davis, Kean Ashford on it again, wasn't it? It would have been nice to see them play, but I think that's what Omar Reza should be doing, really, shouldn't he? He should be looking at the young players and bringing them through.
Yeah, because I think, let's be honest, the senior pros aren't offering much at the moment.
No,
we may as well give them a go because it can't get any worse.
I would love to see Reindorf get a go. I don't, he's exactly what we need up front. Chris Stephen, is this team capable of fighting off relegation this year? Let's face it, we've been lucky in the last several years. We'll discuss that in a bit more detail shortly. Adam Tibbs, I spent the last 3 weeks in the States and I'd rather sit through the hurricane we just had again than watch that back. Lee Samuel, falling out of love with the Bluebirds. Should I even try and stop myself? No, Lee. We all hate it, really. I don't think any of us really have an affinity for this football club at the moment. Gwyn Jones, Reza dressing in his own clothes when he's assistant caretaker manager bothers me. Wear a tracksuit until you've earned the right to dress like Pep or Errol. Ben, we were very complimentary about Bullett's clothes, weren't we? What did you make of Reza's? I thought his watch was a bit gregarious.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same drip, does it? It's just not got that vibe.
CCFC FR, how many clubs have overtaken us since Tan has owned us? Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, Leicester, Nottingham Forest, Luton. So many other teams that I've not listed have all gone on to bigger and better things and become established clubs when everything we had promised. Forever Blue 86, whoever is in charge of the menus in the concourse needs some kind of halftime grub Michelin star. The food is ace right now. Football's shit, but at least I can take some joy from spending out on a season ticket. Pep, the front four was positive. Remember, this is the first time they've played together. Again, we aren't far away from a result. Losing Fish early and Collins having a poor game caused issues. Would love to see Rinamotta back in midfield. Season starts on Tuesday. Again, Evan Williams just got a laugh at this point. El La Espanola, we need a reset at the very top, but Tan's not going anywhere until he gets his hands on the Salah money. Until then, nothing at all will change. Owen Davis, do you think we've been conned into signing Kanga in a similar way to the Southampton was signed George Weah's cousin? Tom, is that fair on Kanga?
What, Ali Deer? Like, I
Ali
think that
Deer.
might
I forgot his name then.
I don't think we've been conned. That's a bit of a stretch. But I just feel sorry for Kanga. He's come into just a team that's not performing very well. And when you're that type of player, like you stand out from just you look worse than you are, I think. You need the service, and we haven't been providing the service. So I think he's just the system is really letting him down at the moment.
I've never seen a player look shell-shocked that the ball's come to him because he's just not expecting it. And it's just gone, what do I do? This hasn't happened in 3 months. What the hell do I do here?
Matt CCFC should have scored a few today and could have conceded more than 4. That sums it up, doesn't it? Got to the point where I'm expecting nothing every game now and it's draining. October is massive for us. Have to start with 3 points on Tuesday. Kay, did Tom enjoy the grand final on Saturday? Tom?
Oh, it was so the AFL grand final happened, but it was an absolute blowout. Brisbane hammered Sydney by like 70 points. So I enjoy. Honestly, if you want to see a city get behind a sport that nobody else cares about in the world, Melbourne's the place. They are absolutely mad for AFL here. They have a bank holiday for the final. Even though the final's on the Saturday, you get Friday off. So you can really warm up to it. Bonkers. Mad place.
Sam Kirby, does that woeful defensive display answer any questions in relation to why Bullet was so conservative? In attack, we looked promising. Hopefully, it's a little glimpse into how good this team can be. Whoever takes over can strike a balance between defense and attack. Matty Aztec, look, I know it's grim right now, but we'll get through it. Very important to remember the good things this club has going for it. An academy that is doing well with a new building, the start of our own training ground, and some really promising youth players. Keep the faith. Also, and finally, there's far too many good people at the club to ever let it fail. Relegation, if it happens, will be a mere blip, and we will be back. Very good.
Will we?
Win how?
Will we?
Go on.
Do you think?
One day, Ben.
One day. Me and mate had this discussion yesterday. If we go down, we're more likely to do a Reading than we are to do an Ipswich or a Norwich a few years ago, sort of thing.
You don't know that until we try it.
Yeah, good attitude.
Yeah, it could be brilliant.
You've got £1 million of your own money put on there, right? Which one are you going for? Which option are you thinking Cardiff are going to do?
Well, what do you mean by doing a Reading? Like completely capitulate as a football club and almost go bust, or just language for a bit? Can I put half on half? $500,000 on one, $500,000 on the other. Hedge my bets.
This is like the last round, the £1 million drop. You've got to put it all on one.
I'm putting it on us bouncing back because there are less spending constraints and we would have money from selling all our squad. Win howls. I'm trying to think of something positive to say, but I've got nothing. Just another bluebird. Is Callum O'Dowda still growing a mustache? I don't think so. From what I saw, it looks like the mustache is gone. I reckon someone had a word and said, Cal, it's not working. Wish someone had said that to me. Perry's fan account. Can't be asked to talk about it anymore. Just say it was shit and then do a 1 hour Cardiff quiz. John Walsh. At least when we are shit, we do it in style. Mike Berry, why does this club hate money? They miss an open goal, not making the away top the Riverside colours, and now the 125-year stuff has the current shit badge on it, which makes nobody wants to buy it. I've seen the Riverside collection. I don't think it's the badge that makes people not want to buy that. I think the fact it's honking makes people not want to buy that. It's some of the worst merchandise I've ever seen.
It's bad.
It's like someone's come in and gone, I've got loads of cheap shit. Do you want it? And the club have gone, sign me up, boys.
But it's like that. It looks like someone's gone, lads, I know someone that's found a Cotton Traders knockoff stuff that's fallen off the back of a lorry. Do you want it for 20 quid? And the club have gone,
enough,
go
it's
on.
all in yellow and brown, so it works perfectly.
What colour is it? Oh, yeah, go on, we'll take it. It's honking. It is like the idea is sound. I'll give them that. I get what they were going for with it, but it's bad. It's bad.
It's like, I do take the piss a bit out of like Man City and stuff with some of their leaning into their like culture thing every now and again, but it does. That sort of stuff does look so much better than anything we've ever tried in the club shop.
Oh, that Oasis shirt's bad as well, though. I'm not having that.
Like, I know.
The away kit this year is superb, but that Oasis kit is bad.
The club you need to look at is Arsenal. Like, I was thinking about this earlier today. Like, everyone takes the piss out of Arsenal for being they all buy all the kit. They're slightly full. You know, everyone's wearing a shirt. Everyone's got an Arsenal jacket or an Arsenal hat. But what you say about that is that I've never seen a club get it right consistently over and over again. Everything they put out there hits the spot. Whether it's a warm-up jersey that's like a homage to the Caribbean, whether it's a jumper that has got the Piccadilly line tube seats on it, or whether it's Aaron Ramsdale ordering fish and chips on the Holloway Road, like everything they do works. And then people go, why is everyone buying all their stuff? It's because people feel pride in the club because of it. But we put out stuff like that and no one buys it.
Their stuff's also a bit cooler because, like, I'll be honest, the Piccadilly, like the trait, like you look, if you compare public transport systems,
Cardiff bus works.
What are you more likely to buy? A dodgy Arriva trains with a fag ash hole and chewing gum on it, or the Transport for London?
I'd buy that.
Yeah, me too. That's the thing.
I'd buy a Transport for Wales top. But like, I have no doubt. Spend most of my life on it.
Yeah,
delayed.
Delayed on the back. Delayed 10.
Every time you go back, you get an extra one put on it. Josh, are so many of our players spineless mercenaries because society and football has changed and no one cares for things anymore? Or do we just sign players who clearly couldn't care less? The majority is so unrelatable and so unlikable. Sorry. I think society has changed. Reece Williams, what's the point? Nothing will change until Vincent and his minions are long gone. The circle of chaos will carry on. We've been flirting with League One for a while now, and the trapdoor is about to open. 2 food questions. Tarly says McDonald's or KFC? Ben?
KFC.
Tom?
KFC.
I order McDonald's more, so it's McDonald's. I'm pretty sure we've done this one as well, but for old time's sake, Reece says, what's your Chinese order, lads? Last week it was Nando's.
This is classic, isn't it?
Crispy shredded beef, chili sauce, and special fried rice. Tom?
Pretty much that, to be fair. But I saw someone the other day who's just decided now just to pick random numbers and see what turns up from the Chinese menu. So I might just start doing that.
I'm not playing that game. If I'm getting a Chinese, I get what I want.
Which is?
It sounds quite fun, though.
I can't. If I'm not, but you're paying in you. If it's someone else's credit card, happy days.
That's true.
If I'm spending 30 quid, I'm getting crispy beef, egg fried rice, duck and plum sauce, and Cantonese style chicken.
Nice.
Are you telling me that an egg fried this rice? Go on, Tom.
I sometimes go for like a lemon chicken and immediately regret it because it's like radioactive yellow. I'm not quite sure how food can be like that. And then you bite into it, like, oh my God, you have like 2 bites, go, that was stupid, really stupid. And then I forget again in 2 months and do exactly the same thing.
Twitter.com/VFT Ninian for all your tweets. Keep interacting with us. We've got a blue tick now. We might earn some money off it. The Bob Bank Village, he left us a tweet because he's banging this drum. How do we end the cycle of failure and apathy at the club? Ben, we are genuinely staring down the face of relegation at the moment. There was a tweet by Nate CCFC. Said only Peterborough in 12-13 and Wickham in 2021 have had less points than Cardiff after 7 championship games. Both went down. This is, I think, championship history, so when it changed in the early 2000s. Cardiff City also have the worst goal difference in championship history after 7 games, as well as being the joint record lowest scorers after 7 games. Hugh Davis, my friend, went and looked back and he said he got as far as 1988-89 and we were still the worst at that point. And then he got sad and stopped looking. It's
oh man,
the quote was it? It's not looking good, Brev, is it, Ben?
So bad. Oh, that's finished me. I didn't realize. I knew it was bad. I think it was bad when Jason Perry just sighed on BBC Radio Wales went, "This is the worst start in Cardiff City history," and that's saying something.
Yeah, really bad. It is really bad.
It's broken a man that's perpetually miserable, which is just impressive. But yeah, I'm going to say it now. I think we're going down, lads. I really do. I don't see anyone saving this at the moment.
Should we have a predictions amnesty because we all got excited when we're allowed to move Cardiff in the table, only Cardiff, and then everyone else moves up when we move Cardiff.
I was about to say that doesn't work.
Why does it work?
No, if nobody else moved, it wouldn't work.
No, but we have to move Cardiff and then everyone.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
Because Wayne Rooney's Plymouth have scored 6 more goals than us. Portsmouth, who we signed their best player. They're ahead of us with 5 extra goals than us. Wayne Rooney's Plymouth have only conceded 11. Sorry, Aaron Hocking, if you are listening. This isn't against you. It's just everyone was sure that Plymouth were going down, but they have conceded 6 less goals than us currently. Sheffield Wednesday, they're on 9 goals scored, 14 conceded. We're on 2 goals scored, 17 conceded, Tom, with a goal difference of -15. The closest goal difference to us is -8. So our goal difference is 7 worse than the next worst. And then ahead of that, I think it's -6. So which is 9, obviously, the difference. It's good, isn't it, Tom? Good.
On the I think I would take plucky 8th now. Looking at it, I go through 2 kind of schools of thought on this, and it's really, really early in the season. Like we don't need to be going through the I take just staying up thing now, but I would take staying up now. There's no because that's what football's like. There's teams who've been better than us who've gone down from the championship. There's clubs who are bigger and better than us who've dropped from this division. It's a tough division. Like the fact that we haven't dropped over the last 20 odd years is quite an achievement, really, since we've come up through the playoffs, and we have flirted around with the drop zone for quite a number of seasons now. So I think we'd be silly if someone offered us tomorrow to stay up. We'd be daft not to take it. But that's not saying that all hope is lost either, because, like I said earlier on, the games will come thick and fast now, and suddenly you could fly up to heady 15th or something like that. So I think there's no need to stop panicking just yet. But probability says if you keep floating around the relegation zone, you're going to get caught out eventually. And if we don't turn it around soon, this season will be that season.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of creates more pressure, doesn't it, Ben? Obviously, we're in a situation now where it sounds like Omar is going to get the job until the international break. So he's got these next 2 games to kind of prove a point. And yes, it's Millwall and Bristol. Neither of them are really setting the world alight, but compared to us, they are 7 and 8 points clear, respectively. They're scoring more goals than us. They're conceding less than us, so they're doing something better than us. But all of a sudden now, these 2 games, Millwall on Tuesday is at home, Bristol's away. They just take on more importance, don't they? And the pressure ramps up even more.
Yeah, look, as long as you go without a single win throughout the season, it's just going to get worse. But it's the manner of the performances as well. Everything is just leading to pressure upon pressure, and look, the players are going to feel it. They're already disinterested. They're already low on confidence. And to be honest, if they've listened this far to any of the podcasts, fair play to you, because it ain't going to be doing this ain't going to do your confidence any good, lads.
No.
Don't know. We'll have a good podcaster out there. Tom, you're listening to a few on commuter. Stick one of those on. Shag Married Annoyed. I don't know. Because the fans are massively apathetic to it and just no belief in it for the most part. There's a lot of people I see on Twitter that are normally quite sort of, it'll be fine. Look, we'll be all right. And they've just completely given up already. And it's 7 games in. It's all just, it's down to the players in the club to turn this around, because there's nothing the fans can do right now. It's all on them.
It's a big month, though. Like, you look at it. I know we've said this in the past. When you look at blocks of games, it's a tough first 7 games we've had. Like, they were really tough games. The games we've had at home, like being against teams who've been really fancied in the league. We've got 3 of our next 4 are at home, and those 3 games are Millwall, Plymouth, and Portsmouth.
But our home
these games,
COVID, mate, is horrific.
I know.
Some stats about it, and we've got the worst home record. For all the teams that have stayed in the championship since COVID, we've got the worst home record by a distance.
Yeah, I know, but we'll know where we're at after the next 4 games. Like,
I can tell you now.
Yeah, but I think I'm the slight different school. I think this is where I am a little bit more positive. I think, like, we've got. I know it's like a temporary manager, but someone who is trying to prove something. He's, this is his kind of job application here.
Yeah, it's audition, isn't it?
And it's these are the more winnable games we'll have this season, and it couldn't come at a better time for us, really, in terms of like we need something to change. If we were like, we've got West Brom on the 26th of October. If that was our next game, I'd be shitting myself, because I'd be worrying it'd be a cricket score. But like, if we don't do it in the next 4 games, we're fucked, to put it bluntly. I think that it's already at that stage of the season, because they are just, you look at it, like Millwall, Plymouth, Portsmouth. You look at the beginning of the season, they are 3 of our more winnable games at home. But now I'm fearing those games because of how much is riding on it already. Like, there's the positive is we've got these games. If we're going to turn around, it's these games. But if we don't, then come join me in Melbourne, because it's season over, really.
For clubs like Portsmouth, who are 1 place above us but outscoring us at a rate of 7-2, like, they're going to be looking at this and going, "That's our springboard as well." If we go there and put in a good performance, they're putting a bit of distance between us and them. I know they've only got a couple of points more than us in reality, but they put the distance between us, and it puts us further behind. And like you say, like Millwall, hopefully we can get a result against Millwall. Bristol, it's almost like a write-off already. Then it's international break, isn't it, again? And then all of a sudden we're looking at West Brom on the 26th of October, and they're flying. There's no way we go to West Brom and get a result. And I mean, stranger things have happened. But it's just...
it's like following that, then you've got like Norwich and Luton. And like Norwich at home, and like we don't really ever perform well against Norwich. Like, we were the catalyst of them turning their season round last year when we should have killed them off. And then Luton away is just a tough one. And it's just, I'm just looking at these next 4 games and just going, please get something out of this, because it's just at the beginning. You look at the championship, beginning of the season, like, it's a winnable championship this year. Everything, like there's I don't know, all the teams are quite close together, but now that's riding against us because we're below that standard. And I think it's becoming, it's such a big month for us. It's absolutely massive. Like on the pitch and getting the managerial appointment right as well. It's going to be a mammoth few weeks for the club.
I
Let's
think the
talk about
issue is you look at
Go on,
it.
Ben.
I'm just looking at the table now. The biggest points gap between the team next above them is us to Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Everyone else, there's a point between it. It's 3 points between us and Portsmouth. It's that's when it's sort of like, Christ, that just shows how bad of a start it's been. And they've not won a game yet either.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, you talk about the managerial position there, Tom, and obviously it comes back to the ownership of the football club, doesn't it? And how disjointed that all is. We had the fan advisory meeting, was it last week with the trust? And it's just like a box ticking exercise for Dalman and Chew to come forward and say, oh, we've asked Vincent Tan about a director of football. He doesn't want to know. We've asked Vincent Tan about this, and he says, oh, it doesn't really work. We've got outside advisors helping us with the managerial appointment. But if they don't get this managerial appointment right, that could be the death knell for this football club. When you think about what's going on off the pitch with all the lawsuits and everything else that are coming to a head in the next year, if we get relegated, if we don't get the managerial appointment right, if we see, a lot of these players leaving, you've got people like all the youth team players that are genuinely a promising class. If you're someone like Joel Cole or Ruben Cole, when we go down to League One, are you going to stick around? You're probably not going to stick around. And then all of a sudden we're back to square one with this football club. And it's a genuine worry now that if we go down to League One, Ben, it was a slightly jokey thing earlier about you say about the £1 million bet, but all of a sudden things look a lot bleaker down there. And if we can't get out of League One at the first, second or third chance, then we could be in a spell in the doldrums for a long time. And then what does Vincent Tan do? Does he sell the club at a loss? No, he probably doubles down and tries to keep the club because he hasn't got a fucking clue what he's doing, really, does he?
No, I'm just looking at it now. It's close to, you think the drop between the Premier League and Championship is bad. It's the equivalent again between the Championship and League One. And then you've got these, like you said, these court cases and stuff. Like, I think there was a video that HITC7's put up about the Cardiff City and Nantes case. And they reckon there's about 20 million gone in legal fees there. If you've got that bill and you're still fighting that court case, because don't forget, even if this ruling comes in our favour in whenever it comes out, even if it goes in our favour and they say we're awarded that 150 odd million, Nantes are 100% going to appeal that. So it's going to be another 12 months, 18 months. That money's not coming in. And then you're losing, I think it goes from like 25 million to like 5 million, like TV revenue and stuff. It's ridiculous how bad that would be for us. You can't afford to fight those battles. Tan isn't going to put that money in. I don't think he can put that money in and still comply with League One profit and sustainability rules. It's a bleak picture if we go down. But then it all comes down to the people in charge picking the right manager. And if it's to be believed who they're sort of advising, is they're using to advise him to get this next manager in, which is all rumours, nothing's been confirmed. It's not exactly filling you with confidence it's going to be the right appointment.
Oh, so you don't trust Mick McCarthy and Russell Slade?
No, I don't trust a bloke.
That was a joke, wasn't it? Or was that genuinely serious?
It's going around on Twitter. That's the rumour, yeah. I think Russell Slade has been kept around the club in more as an advisor in other times as well.
Russell Slade worries me less than Mick McCarthy, though. I get more concerned with the fact that Mick McCarthy's taking phone calls in between talking to Ant and Dec. Like, it's Vincent Tan, then Ant and Dec. That's just a weird sort of call history to me.
Big question, though. Who would you rather as manager, Ant or Dec?
Oh, I don't know which one's which. So I'd say Ant.
Ant or Dec.
Ant's the one with the big forehead that's not allowed to drive anymore.
Dec, then. Dec. I guess, we go back to Bob Bankvillage's tweet. There is... What will take the club to change, Tom? What will be the decision that means that Tan thinks about selling it properly, that Dalman and Chew, take their circus away from this football club? I can't think of anything conceivably at the moment because they're both too invested. They're all too invested. And the reality is that these calls, on the large part, only come about when things are going bad, right? We start to see it on social media over last weekend. I'm not saying about Bankvillage. I know he's very consistent at pushing this, the ownership out on Twitter. He's very vocal about that. But when you look at a lot of other accounts and a lot of other people on Twitter, as soon as things start going bad, we start seeing the photos of the tan out protests from previously. It's a bit like the Man United joke, isn't it? Go and get the green and yellow scarves when they start losing games. In reality, Tom, nothing's going to change, is there? Because the majority of match going fans will probably go with whatever happens and whoever's in charge, because that's just what they do. It happened with the red kit. We didn't really drop attendances because of the red kit. People still wanted to go to the football. So what will push them out of the club?
Yeah, the thing with the red kit though, success came at the same time. If we were in this situation and we changed colour, there'd be no one there. There's no doubt.
It'd be different. It'd be different. But I still think when you look back on that red scarf night, how many people were still in the ground with the red scarf around their neck? People just went along with it.
Yeah, it's true. It was a horrible, horrible time, but for many people who aren't quite as close to it, it was exciting because something was changing and something was happening. Yeah. Where now it's the same cycle over and over again. Nothing's changing, nothing's happening, and there's a reason we've been asked the same question about ice creams, is because because people don't care anymore, because it's the same thing week in, week out. But the worry for us as a club is if the owners leave, what for us then? Like, what sort of debt are we left with? What sort of situation? We pull that plug out, we could completely capitulate. I think the thing that scares fans is we could be fucked both ways. Like, if they stay around, we are slowly dropping further and further into a mess. But if they leave, we could be
immediately plunged into the mess.
Yeah, it's the unknown of how bad it could get. It could always get worse, and I think that's the problem. Just in football in general at the moment, is you always want new owners, but you're putting so much faith into the right type of owner come in, and at the moment it's just pot luck. Like, you could have Dionga like you had at Reading, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you could have Wrexham with Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, and with them going in, you don't know if that's going to work or not. Do you know what I mean? It's complete pot luck, and this is just a systemic problem with football now. It's just everything rides on that right type of manager coming in, the fit and proper persons test in the Premier League stuff doesn't really work, and things like that. And it's just everything's just nervy around football now. And growing up, I was never scared. And that's not true, because we've always been in financial. I was going to say I'm never scared of losing our club, but we've been in this situation before. But it feels completely different now.
It feels more existential now.
Yeah, and it's just happening everywhere all the time. Yeah. And it's really hard because we don't have success at the moment. We don't really get things right off the field. So that apathetic thing is going to set in, and we don't need to change just one thing to get the atmosphere back. We need to change so many things in one go. And I think the damage that was done from the red kit is just irreparable for our generation. But the problem is we're not bringing in the new generation who didn't see it. Or we're not really inspiring youngsters. We don't do enough probably in and around Cardiff. And that's not the people who work at the club's fault. It's just probably the budgeting and stuff like that. I think there has been efforts there, but it's just something's not working to give this club a kickstart, to get some fresh ideas and some fresh faces in the crowd. And I think that the combination with the ownership and that as well, we're God, I've gone on quite a bit here because I'm making myself sad. So, but it is just hard. I just don't see us turning it around.
Do you want a quiz? I could do a quiz.
I want to know what happened with the Furbies behind him.
What's going on with the birds, Tom?
Yeah.
Oh, could you hear those birds? Oh, birds
quite loud.
Even you've depressed them with the sound of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've woken them up with my sad rant. Yeah, birds sound different. Yeah, that blew my mind when I first got here.
Do you want to talk about the prospect of playing in Europe, or I'll rephrase that? Just the prospect of getting to a Welsh League Cup final with the prospect of playing in Europe and then losing to Swansea?
I think it's really sweet. You think we're getting that far?
Yeah, to be honest, I've oversold ourselves there. Ben, obviously the news, David Pritchard, BBC journalist, broke the news today that the four Football League Welsh clubs in the English system are in talks with the Welsh FA. It's called, I can't remember what it's called, but they've done a presentation. They've got Deloitte in. And if you're getting a management consultancy and you're doing really good work, shout out all the people working in management consultancy. Thanks for using our money to make things worse. Ben, what do you make of the reports? Obviously, there's a bit of friction between the FAW with the Welsh League itself, but there's some benefits that come with it about the coefficient, that all-important coefficient, and obviously we can play in Europe. Would you like to see us back in Europe, Ben? Or, sorry, I say it again, with a chance to be back in Europe again?
No. Not for like for like less selfish reason you think. Like, it'd be quite fun to watch Cardiff in Europe once, and like, but I feel like doing it through the Welsh League Cup would just sort of, it wouldn't have the novelty it would if it was like the thought of us the year we sort of lost to Liverpool in the League Cup final, the FA Cup final, sort of the thought of us qualified in Europe if we'd won those, that makes it really special. Doing it sort of through the back door, sort of through the third, like the second cup competition for the Welsh Football League, sort of doesn't give me that same excitement. It's just, it would be fun if we got a decent draw once, and then after that, I think you'd sort of be looking at shit attendances again. I don't think people would care. It's got more benefit for the FAW than it does for both the Welsh Football League clubs and the Cardiff, Newport, Swansea, Wrexham. I think the main winner in this is the FAW, and it would be quite fun. Like I said, I think it'd be fun to start with, but it would wear off very quickly. Also, then you look at that. There's people saying, why does it have to be taking a place from the league? Because under this thing, it would take the second place team in the Welsh Prem wouldn't automatically qualify for Europe now. They'd go into the playoffs. If we're going to do it through the Welsh Cup, would be my preference. And that way the Welsh Premier League teams don't lose it. So it's not always TNS going into Europe and then whoever's won the cups.
Yeah. Tom, as a Carmarthen man, you did say in a group chat earlier with your Carmarthen hat on. Do you want to tell people about that?
Well, yeah, they're in the Cymru South, so I got a little bit ahead of myself there. But it's not taking anything away from them. But like, yeah, growing up, I went to watch Carmarthen in Europe like 6 times, and like I know what it means to those types of clubs. So like, I think I'm very split on this. I think like from a Cardiff point of view, I'd never get bored of seeing us in Europe. I don't care who we drew. I think I still get excited by like when we get a preseason friendly against like Hamburg. Do you know what I mean? Like, how excited were we like this season to see like new names? And that would, like, Cardiff versus Lincoln Red, sign me up. I'm straight in there. Like, but then it does feel a little bit like, look, we're not in the Welsh setup. Let's leave it alone. But but then coefficient points and stuff like that. But there's nobody saying, oh, we do well if we got there ahead of a Welsh team as well. What type of teams are we kind of putting out and things like that? Our resources are fairly stretched at the moment in our squad as it is. So does more cup competitions really help us out? And I see positives and negatives with both sides of it, because if we were in it, I'd quickly get excited about it. But I just feel quite guilty about it for like the people who follow like Penabont and Connors Key and things like that.
Shout out Ryan March.
It'd just be really interesting to see how it plays out, because it could benefit them in the long run. And if I'm right in thinking, it would only be the Conference League, right?
Yeah.
So like, but then that's the tournament where the Welsh League teams are going to do I've got the best chance as well. Do you know what I mean? I know they can drop into it if they lose their games in the Champions League qualifiers and stuff happen with TNS as well. And it's one of those ones where I'd have to see it play out. But I'm split on it, because obviously I'm just repeating myself a bit, but like, I'd be so excited to see Cardiff in Europe. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I genuinely just don't think it would feel the same if it's done.
Once you're there, I don't think it matters how you get there. If we're playing Fiorentina like TNS are, I don't give a toss if I've got there through the League Cup or got there through obviously we'd be riding a wave if we got there through the English League Cup or the FA Cup. We're already on a bounce from winning or getting to a final there, right? Rather than scraping like a 1-0 win in the League Cup against Newport County or winning on pens, something like that. But once that draw's made and you're seeing like random teams like Border Glimt coming out and things like that, I'm on Skyscanner seeing we're in Asia. I'm switching to get to that fixture, because I'd be all for it.
But would you though? I still think like you come off this 4-1 defeat to Cardiff. This is the 5th time we've been in Europe, and we've lost 4-1 to Hull. It's the same sort of thing. We're facing relegation phase. The club is in crisis, and it's Malmo at home on a Tuesday night. Does that have the buzz then? The aways, I agree, like the buzz would be there. You sort of get the trips and sort of the same sort of like Wales away in the past. You got the adventure. It's the home games where I think you'd struggle to get. You're not drawing 20,000 in that crowd, then, are you? I think it's going to be it's going to be above what we're getting for the FA Cup, but I still don't think it would be the average football fan's not looking at that and going, "Oh, class! I need to get tickets for that."
I don't know though, because and I think I think it would still be different at that point, and you'd get more floating van. Like no one wants to go to the FA Cup because you draw a crap team. Like you draw, no one wants to go to the League Cup because you play Portsmouth on a Tuesday night, who you're already playing in the league, or you're playing somebody out from the step below, and you would have played them in the league previously. If you get a different European team every year, and you get someone like one year it might be Malmo, but the next year it could be Fenerbahce at home or something like that. Like that would be an instant.
The big clubs are different though, aren't they? The bigger clubs are different. I'm saying more like like you look at the structure of that Europa League draw. If we were in TNS's place, like the Fenerbahce one, the Fiorentina one's a clash tie and would be amazing. But some of the other teams, like that no one's ever heard of, you're not getting big crowds. It's going to be similar to it is just going to be similar to the FA Cup ties. And I think
it's true.
You're blinded by the idea, especially in the Conference League, with the teams. They're nice teams, but they're not sort of going to draw in Joe Blogs off the street. You've got some of them. You've got to be a football fan and go, "Oh, I remember them. That'd be class."
I think, I think you're right there. I think I'm definitely in the camp of I've never heard of them. I want to go and see it.
Yeah.
Like, because
I watch any football, so
yeah. I I'm the A League today. Like, it's not the same. Like, but Joe Blogs off the street who still thinks like Robert Inshaw still plays for Cardiff, who's just a casual fan. They're not going to go to those games.
Yeah, I'm excited by it because I'm Albania away for a friendly with Wales and stuff like that. So this sort of thing is in my wheelhouse. But you're definitely right. I think it's not in everyone's wheelhouse. But if you're asking me if I'm excited about it, 100% I'll be excited about it. And I would always be excited about it because I'd never get bored of playing the team who finished third in Estonia. Like, that's the things I speak out.
Yeah, I look back on those the was it late 80s where it was like the Cup Winners' Cup and we were playing people like Standard Liège and all that kind of stuff. I look back on that with jealousy. My dad went to some of the European games in the 70s and 80s, and it's like I just want to experience it because it's so far removed from what I think this football club would do. Really, we've never had the opportunity to do that in my lifetime, really. So I'd be all for it. But I get your point, Ben. I do get your point.
And we're not getting there every year anyway. Do you know what I mean? I think it'd be spread.
We'll get there once. We'll get there once, and then we'll never do it again.
We're talking about this like we're not going to get knocked out in the second round by Barrytown.
Yeah, and I'd equally love that. I must admit,
that would be fun,
would like that. Yeah.
I'd be as excited about the Barrytown game as I would about going to like the home games in the Europa League. To be fair,
yeah,
that's true. That's true.
We've crossed over the mythic hour mark, so I'll save the quiz because I didn't even do the graphics for it. Millwall and Bristol coming up. I can't remember if I wrote this. I wrote 2 losses. Did I write that?
I didn't write it for once.
It wasn't me.
I wrote that then. Any advances on 2 losses?
1 loss and a draw.
1 loss and a draw. Tom.
Winner. I think we'll beat Millwall. I think we'll win both. And I'm genuinely not. I'm not even on a wind up. I don't know. I've just stared at. I've mentioned this so many times. I just stared at like the 4 games, and I'm like, "This is where we turn it around. This is where we turn it around." But I'm an idiot, so don't trust. I'm just an optimist. So
I think the problem I've got with it is I don't like Omar Reza. I got really pissed off. I got really pissed off at his press conference.
Gives me bad vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just the whole, I'm an attack-minded coach. We'll go for it. We'll go for it. And to be fair to him, he did go for it with the team, but he said that like a bloke that's not been tasked with improving the fucking attack the whole time he's been at the club. It was just bit like
it was so classic. It's like with the best will in the world, and I'm sure Omar Reza has reason to be annoyed with what was happening at the football club, but it sounded so snaky.
Yeah,
like and he was like, "Oh well, I don't." Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't look good that you're saying that in a press conference so openly. And I get it. You kind of want to set your stall out, and you want to be the guy who then gets the job and considered for it. But like, just be a bit more diplomatic.
Yeah, optics, Omar. Oh, optics.
Yeah, optics.
Yeah.
The comms, man. That's what I felt.
Just don't go flat out saying, "Yeah, I want the job" before you've had a game. I think just go with the classic. We'll take it 1 game at a time. There's a reason managers play it safe. Like, I 100% totally understand that deep down he wants that job and thinks he's good enough for it. That's fine. But in a press conference, when we're doing as shit as we are and you've been involved in that coaching setup, you need to play it safe and say, "Look, I need to tone down the expectations a bit because it's been dross and you're part of that problem." It really pissed me off.
Well, all things are rosy at Cardiff City FC then, aren't they? 2 games coming up. Millwall and Bristol. Keep it locked in here for our reaction next week. Thank you for everyone who got involved in our tweets, twitter.com/VFT Ninian. Get in touch with us there. You can find our link tree there. If you like what we do and want to give us some money, kofi.com/VFT Ninian. If you listen to the podcast and want to sponsor us for some reason, please do get in touch with us. All our contact details are on the link tree. Ben, go to bed now.
Yeah, I'm knackered.
Tom, going to work now.
Yeah, I've had to change my hours. I'm going to be slightly late thanks to you, Muppet. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to keep you here for another minute or two, I think. Wonder how long I can keep it. Thanks for listening once again. We'll be back after the games next weekend. See you later. Is it ending?
Please leave that in.